Hi everyone, Patricia, Worby, Alchemy Therapies and my emotional audit here. More in my discussion of the book On Tyranny by Tim Snyder. Schneider, I don't know. But it's a brilliant book. It's very short, it's very to the point. It has a lesson per chapter, and this is chapter 3. Beware the one-party state. Oh my goodness. How relevant is that right now? The parties that remade states and suppressed rivals were not omnipotent from the start. They exploited a historic moment to make political life impossible for their opponents. So support the multi-party system and defend the rules of democratic elections. Vote in local and state elections while you can, and consider running for office. Well, yeah, I agree with that. Given what's happening now, I think we can see that when people take power and start to gradually reduce the opposition and demolish any bodies that are there to oversee that, we know we're heading towards tyranny or oligarchy. So we saw it, of course, in Europe in the 1930s and 40s. We saw it in Russia, in fact, in 1990, which was the last free election that Russians had. And we see the result of that today. We have extraordinary powers given to one person. But it doesn't start that way, and that's the important lesson of this chapter, that it's sort of a combination of spectacle, making a grandstand, saying, you know, I am all powerful, repression of opposition, of course, because you don't want to be seen to be weak or shamed, and what he calls, and I love this, salami tactics, slicing off layers of opposition one at a time. So you just get rid of everything gently so people hardly notice, and particularly if you're able to distract them with news of something going on in the world that feels powerful and positive, you can pretend that what's actually happening isn't happening. So I think the idea of free elections, of democracy, is really under threat at the moment, pretty much everywhere, actually. It's just that some countries are more obvious in the demolition than others. And obviously, Tim is an American, so he's talking particularly about the American point of view. And he's saying that the problem of oligarchy is ever more threatening as globalization increases differences in wealth. You see, where you've got more wealth inequality, you have people with much more power than others, and none more so than in America, actually, because in America, the idea of free speech has been circumvented really by people donating to political campaigns. That's considered free speech, but of course what it does is it makes the very rich already much richer. And so it doesn't really promote free speech, it promotes more of the same. And the checks and balances are just not there. So I think we're seeing that playing out now in Russia, which is, you know, a powerful oligarchy. It promotes a foreign policy designed to destroy democracy elsewhere. So it's not just trying to promote the idea of one person as the leader, supreme leader, and the holder of all knowledge. By the way, that's also going on. Putin is also, you know, instructing what children can be taught about history now. So anything that doesn't concur with his worldview is no longer history, and it's not to be taught. But there are people actually going in and hacking and destroying that notion and giving more free information. And I thoroughly support that. We need discussion, you know, whether you agree or disagree with someone's point of view, you need to have 2 points of view in order to find a common ground. And I think we are seeing basically the result of people not being aware of what's going on and not caring so much. I think we've been distracted by COVID. In fact, COVID has been another idea that's allowed creeping demolition of free speech. It's been happening at a local level and at a global level. And so we are seeing this total shift in the way society functions, that we need to fight. We need to get out there. We need to speak to each other. We need to have conversations on the street, in public places, and defend democracy, because I think it's not a perfect system by any means, but it's the best we have so far. We need to probably revitalize it, but you can only do that if you take part. And there's so much of that you can do, even at a local level, just by taking part in community projects, for instance, which is what I do. You know, helping donate, organizing opposition to the current mantra, one party, one state. Well, that's my summary of chapter 3. It's a short chapter, Beware the One Party State. And the next chapter will be looking more about taking responsibility in a positive way, what you can do. So thanks for listening. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.